Hello everyone and welcome today. We have a very special guest, Peppa Pig. And Peppa is here to help us help our children learn English. Maybe even she'll help us, who knows. So first, Peppa Pig is a wonderful resource for young learners. The English used in this cartoon is fabulous. It is targeted for small children, toddlers to even 5 year, 6 year olds, and especially non-native English speaking young learners, even at a higher age, for the English learning purpose only. Now, let's talk about how to use Peppa as a resource, because we know that our kids find things on YouTube to watch, and some of these things are not, to say the least, the best type of material we would like our kids watching. As a matter of fact, a lot of the material is just a complete disgrace. It's a waste of time. The kids end up just vegetating to this garbage. So Peppa Pig is an exception, and we really can take advantage of Peppa Pig. And today we're going to talk about how to. So number one, the first thing that we should do is to slow Peppa down, okay? For our children, especially our children who are of the age, a year and a half to 3, slowing Peppa down is a vital and very effective way for understanding. Now, in YouTube, depending on which or where you're watching YouTube from, you're able to do this. On a computer and Android or iPad, you're definitely able to do this. You can see in the settings, you have speed. Now, it defaults at normal, of course, and we're going to slow Peppa down to 75. Now, this is wonderful because this does not change the pitch. It doesn't change the sound, anything. So everything remains the same, except it's easier to differentiate words, to tell words apart, to speak slowly. Now, when we're learning at a young age or at a beginner's level, we speak slowly, and this is what this is doing. So this is, before anything, the first thing we should do if we're using Peppa Pig as a resource. Now, the first thing Peppa Pig does very well is it highlights and targets specific and relative vocabulary that your child uses on a daily basis. These words are all around your child and they are relative to your child's life. Not only it targets these, it repeats. The repetition of these words is very thorough. So this is important for us to interact with this targeted vocabulary. As you can see, this theme is shopping, this episode, and if you were to play this episode from beginning to end, you'll hear this word repeated over and over again. Now, how we interact with our children is very important for us to reap the best reward of this wonderful cartoon. Now, big questions we would like to ask our children start with W. Who, where, and what happened. So, the following clips will apply these, and we'll also keep in mind and be aware of the vocabulary used. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin with shopping and see where this leads us.
Shopping.
Shopping, that's one.
Peppa and George are going shopping.
Okay, they're going shopping.
Peppa and George like shopping.
Okay, Peppa and George like shopping. So, a W question we could ask our child, which targets the vocabulary. Where are Peppa and George going? Peppa and George are going shopping. Okay, another question could be, do Peppa and George like shopping? Yes, they do. So this is a great example of how we can use vocabulary for Peppa and George. Okay, so let's see if we can take these principles and use them to see if we can come up with our own interactions with the following clip.
Peppa, first we need tomatoes.
I can see them, I can see them. Here are the tomatoes, Mummy.
Well done, Peppa.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, put them in the trolley.
I found the tomatoes.
Okay, so we can ask so many things here. I'll give you, you've probably thought of your own, but we can ask, where did Mommy ask to put the tomatoes? Who picked the tomatoes? What happened? Peppa picked the tomatoes. Okay, so let's just apply this to one more clip before we conclude.
On the list is fruit.
Oh.
Never mind, George. You can choose the fruit. Where is the fruit?
Over there.
There are apples and oranges and bananas and a very big melon.
Great vocabulary.
What fruit shall we have, George? Apples?
Oranges?
Bananas.
Hear the repetition here. Of
melon.
course, George picks the melon. Okay, fantastic. So, we can do the same thing, okay? Obviously, fruit was the targeted word here, okay? And you can use your questioning with what fruit did George pick? Where did they find the fruit? What is your favorite fruit? There are so many questions with fruit, but you, again, can hear the repetition of these words and how important they are in your child's development. So, by using targeted vocabulary with repetition, asking our children questions, interacting, how, what, where, when, why, using questions of feeling and emotion to build empathy and compassion with our children. Peppa Pig is just a wonderful gift that we should take advantage of, especially over these nonsensical things on YouTube that we should definitely avoid. So my advice is to you, seize the pig, enjoy Peppa. Thanks, and we'll see you soon.